Getting high testosterone actually feels illegal at times. Getting high testosterone can actually change your personality. If you don't believe that, then listen to this because it's really going to help. I used to be a very anxious, very unconfident person. And last year, I got my testosterone from 270 to 870 nanograms per deciliter and got free T from 8 to 21 nanograms per deciliter. And right now, I can say that it has changed my personality. That is crazy to think about. Like tripling a number of your hormone, like the hormone that you can produce, has changed my personality. I was so much less confident than before. I would never, for example, talk to a stranger. Like, for example, I'll be in the gym and I'll talk to a stranger, maybe ask them a question, or maybe just spark up a conversation, actually talk to people. I would never do that before. I would never talk to strangers. I would never even talk to friends that much. And after doing this, I have basically fixed all these issues. I would never talk to girls, and I have a girlfriend now. So I would never have got to that point before if I didn't go about increasing my testosterone, because it's killed all my anxieties for good. And it actually genuinely feels illegal because I am a completely different person. So you don't have to live the rest of your life as the anxious guy. If you are an anxious guy and you kind of just accepted it, maybe you've been to a therapist and she kind of sits you down and you work on dealing with your anxieties in a very peaceful, kind of chilled out way, and you just like, maybe you've come to the conclusion that you just have to accept it and just live with it for the rest of your life. And that's a fucking lie, because I did therapy for like 4 or 5 years by my parents because I had a lot of anxiety about the way I looked. Specifically, I was quite a fat, chubby kid, and I would basically never, if we went to swim on holiday, I would never take my t-shirt off. I would swim with what's called a rash vest, which is like a waterproof top. You might have seen fat people use that when they swim. And I'd be 10, 12, 11 years old, and I'd be wearing this waterproof t-shirt because I just wouldn't take it off because I was so insecure and anxious. And it's crazy to think about, because now I walk around the house with my t-shirt off, and I have no insecurities about how I look. And this is because I've put in years of effort to get to that point where I can be comfortable. Training, nutrition, testosterone, and I basically narrowed it all down and put it into one course. So click the link in the description if you want quick results. And what took 5 years for me, you can do it in about 3 months. And so you don't have to live the rest of your life as the anxious person that you are. I can promise you that, I mean, I've done it, and I was such an anxious person. And people from, for example, from my primary school, I'll meet them again today, and they'll be so blown away with like how a completely different person I am. Sometimes even when I left school at 18, I would meet up with friends, even like a few months after seeing them, and they would like, I would know myself that the way I speak to them is completely different, even just a few months after seeing them. And this would be because I'd be constantly working on myself and on destroying anxiety, and just keep getting further, because you can destroy your anxiety and you can be like a normal person, or you can just keep working on it and get higher and higher and higher in your confidence and in your testosterone and in your masculinity, I guess. And I can see that in myself when I talk to them. I'm a different person, even just from 3 months ago. And so this is something that if you start working on, you can really shift the way that you behave and the way that you act in relationships, because it will probably change your life. And if you're a young guy and you've caught this early, then it's the best time to do it. If you're under 20, it's like, this is the only option that you're really going to have to fix the direction of your life. Could I say that? Maybe even. But maybe if you're over 30, you can still work on it. Like, I'm not saying just give up if you're over 30 or 40. But if you're in your teens or even like early 20s, then I feel like being in your teens is the best time. If you maybe about to leave school at 18, or even if you're younger, 15, 16, and you go away for a summer, or you go away after school and you don't really have anything planned, it's the best time to work on yourself brutally, to like go full monk mode season. And just literally, just monk mode means just completely work on yourself, obviously with the aim of getting back to normal life. But it's the best time if you catch this early. It's kind of like cancer. If you catch it early, you've got more success at getting success with it. So here now I'm going to show you basically the framework that you can go about increasing your testosterone, which is a snippet, which is what I built my course off of. If you want, click the link in the description. I'll be increasing the price soon. So just so you're not leaving this video with absolutely nothing, and I can give you something for free, this is what my paid course is built off of. This is the testosterone pyramid, and this is what you look at when you want to increase your testosterone. So we've decided we want to increase our testosterone as a vehicle to kill our anxieties, to make us a completely different person, and to make us more of that confident, self-assured, not socially avoidant person. And so this is what we look at. So there are 4 layers of this pyramid, and the first layer is the most important, second most, third most, fourth most, etc. And I put a cross here because we don't look at drugs, because we are doing this completely naturally. So the first area is your lifestyle and behaviors. This is how you live your life, basically. And this is the most important area of increasing testosterone. The second layer is your diet, the second most important, and the third is your supplements. So the first call of action is to focus on what we can do here. And there are some really simple things you can do, like start sleeping better. And it's such boring, bland advice, but it really works. Start training, start meditating, start some good habits, start maybe even doing something like a gratitude journal where you can feel happier during the day. And that will all feed into a higher testosterone and higher just like zest and drive for life. Other things you can do, go on more dates as a guy. That will increase testosterone massively. You can also do things like semen retention and abstinence and nofap and all that shit. So what I'll do actually now is give you one really practical tip from each layer so that you can actually go about it and make some action on it today, straight after watching this. So for your lifestyle and behaviors, the thing I'm going to recommend is a 5-minute meditation. So go on your phone, on your app store, and get an app called Medito. That's a free meditation app. And go on do a daily one and do a 5-minute one, and just follow it. It's guided, so it will talk you through it. It's guided and it will talk you through it. I've used Headspace and Calm before, but I actually quite like this one because it's quite simple to use. So go on that 5-minute, do a 5-minute routine, very easy. And straight after that, you'll feel that lower stress, lower cortisol, less arousal, more parasympathetic activation, rest and digest kind of thing. And that is actually where testosterone is produced. So I'm not just making this shit up. Testosterone and cortisol have an inverse relationship. So the more cortisol, i.e. stress you have, the lower your testosterone will be, and the less stress you have, the higher your testosterone will be. So number 2 is diet. What I'm going to say right now, if you don't have eggs at home, go to the shop and get some eggs and eat them before you go to sleep. When you sleep is when testosterone is produced. And cholesterol is a molecule that is the building block for testosterone. Eggs are very high in cholesterol. Eggs increase cholesterol, cholesterol increases testosterone, testosterone is produced overnight. So if you have it before you sleep, you'll produce as much testosterone as possible overnight, which will also improve your sleep. I actually stopped doing this the last few weeks to see if it made a difference, and it really has. I used to do this religiously for the last year, so I'm going to start doing it now again. 6 eggs before you go to sleep. Number 3 is supplements. What I'm going to do, without telling you to buy something because that's a bit of shit, I'll give another diet tip so you don't spend 20 quid on a supplement. Get some Brazil nuts. So when you go to the shop, if your shop has Brazil nuts, get some Brazil nuts. If it doesn't, order a massive pack on Amazon. That will last like 1 or 2 months. And what you want to do with the Brazil nuts is have 2 in the morning and have 2 before you sleep. So as soon as you wake up with breakfast, have 2 Brazil nuts with breakfast and have 2 with your egg meal. Brazil nuts are very high in selenium, which is very important for increasing testosterone. So high selenium increases testosterone, and Brazil nuts are the highest food in the world in selenium. So those are 3 tips that you can do right now. And my goal on this channel is literally just purely to help young men destroy their anxieties through getting dramatic results in testosterone, because this is the best vehicle to destroy your anxieties. It's changed my life and it will change other people's lives too. I strongly believe that. And if you found this useful and if you want to learn more, subscribe, because this is the place to be. If you want quicker results, click one of the 2 links in the description. One's free, one's paid. It'll basically help you destroy your anxieties for good and get much quicker results. And until next time, bye.